All right, here we go. Today we have one of the most successful and most polarizing figures in the streaming world, who recently made worldwide headlines when he showed up at a nightclub in Miami, along with Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, and others, and got the club to play Ye's banned Hail Hitler song. Sneako, welcome to Vlad TV.
How you doing? It wasn't me who got the club to play it. I was excited to hear it's one of my favorite songs.
Right.
I was there when it was created, but I didn't ask to get it played. I enjoyed it. Maybe I enjoyed it too much. They're calling it the Clubbercost or Clubtober 7th. So.
Well, it's your first time here. I want to start at the very beginning. Okay, so what ethnicity are your parents?
My dad, he's from Haiti. My mother's Filipino. My dad is half black, and his father, my grandfather, is half Hungarian and then half Ashkenazi Jew.
Okay.
So, which we just found out.
So you're like 12.5% Jewish?
Yes, sir. Shalom.
Okay, where was your grandfather living at the time?
He was living, so he fought in World War II, and then he left after the war and moved to Haiti and hid his identity. And we didn't know, well, I never met him. He died before I was born. He didn't know he was Jewish. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty G move to fight in the war. He fought against the Nazis and then, you know, wanted to start a new life and goes to Haiti out of all places. That's a baller move. I got one of those fake, you know how Jews in the industry have fake names? Like Jonah Hill's real name is Feldstein.
Right.
Netanyahu's real name is like Lewinsky or something. I got one of those too.
Okay, so as a kid, were you a good kid? Did you get in trouble?
Pretty good. You know, I did decent in school. I cheated on a lot of the tests and stuff, but I think everyone kind of did. It was before ChatGPT, where everyone's using AI now to pass. But yeah, I didn't really get in too much trouble. Okay. You know, here and there. Sometimes I got in trouble for like going on 4chan too much. I was big into message boards, and the librarian was able to monitor the computer. Mm. I got in some fights, but nothing crazy. Good kid. Generally a good kid. Yeah.
So around 2013, you're around 14, 15 years old. That's when you officially joined YouTube.
2013, May 2013, that's when I started my Sneako channel. Mm-hmm. I've had channels before that. You know, I used to make lyric videos for like Drake and Nicki Minaj and stuff. It was like Moment for Life. I loved editing, so I would just make these flashy lyric videos. But that channel, my real channel, that's when I started. Well, May of 2013. So it's almost 13 years.
Okay, and it was actually Sneako at that time?
Same exact channel, yeah.
Okay, why the name Sneako?
It was a nickname when I was growing up. It was my gamer tag when I was playing Call of Duty. I started making Call of Duty videos, so it's just a nickname that stuck. My real name is Nicolas. It's a French name. Ooh. Some people say Nikolai. Americans can't pronounce it properly, so Sneako is easier.
Okay, so Nico became Sneako, basically.
Nicolas became Sneako.
Nicolas becomes Sneako. Okay, so you started the channel when you were around 14, 15 years old, and at what point did it start to really grow?
It was slow growth in the beginning. I posted like 100 videos. I was getting better every day doing these commentaries. I think it really popped off. I had 27,000 subscribers for a long time. I was stuck at there for like 3 years. Then I went and worked with MrBeast, and he was one of my OG fans from like 10,000 subscribers.
Wow.
You can see this video of him saying that I was one of his favorite YouTubers. There's a video from MrBeast. He said, top 5 YouTubers I think will succeed. And I was on that list. And he said, a lot of stuff people say now, like when Sneako starts to talk, you know, you just have to listen. He's really engaging. And I was stuck for a while. I didn't understand clickbait. And so I was in college. I was just kind of in a lull place. I wasn't uploading consistently. I went out to North Carolina. I was doing videos with him. And I learned about the YouTube algorithm from him. And he gave me an idea for my first viral video. It was, would you say the N-word for $1? And
that was his idea.
Yeah. And he said this word for it. He's like, I'm like, I don't know how to go viral. And he's like, I don't know, the thumbnail should be, you're handing a white guy $1 and a black guy's behind him, about to punch him. I don't know, don't use that, something like that. And I used that exactly. The thumbnail's me handing my filmer a white guy $1. And then there's 2 black guys like, didn't do this. And I paid him like $10. It's just random guys on the street to do it. And the video now is like 13 million views.
Damn.
That brought me up to 100,000 subscribers overnight. And so my life changed. And I think the smartest decision I made was to not double down on that. You know, I'll double down on a song, but he was saying, okay, now do Spanish people say the N-word? Asian people say the N-word. I don't want to be the N-word guy.
Yeah.
So I just started making content that reflected my thoughts and me. I built my brand around me because I didn't want to be stuck for a niche or a gimmick. I don't want to be a clown. I wanted to be Sneako.
When you look at MrBeast now, essentially the biggest YouTuber in the world?
By far.
What do you think differentiates him from everyone else based on someone who actually knows him?
He is a machine. He's kind of like a Peter Thiel, Elon Musk type of, he's like a tech billionaire who is a YouTuber.
Huh.
So he's obsessive with it. And it's all about virality. It's all about the algorithm. It's all about what's going to work. That difference between me and him is my stuff, and I use YouTube the way an original YouTuber was doing it, where you open up a MacBook and you talk. It's about your personality. It's about who you are. He's doing it and treating it like a corporation. So YouTube changed because of him. YouTube used to be like the name of the website, YouTube. You are the new TV. It's people. You know, everything else you see in media is all manufactured and is all with the studio and writers. I think MrBeast turned it into that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan. My kids love him. It's one of those things. They always, you know, talk about how much richer he is than me and everything else like that. But I really admire what he's done. I think he's raised the bar, and yeah, the fact that you worked with him originally is dope. Okay, so you start bringing out that type of content. You went to college?
I went to film school for 2 years. I dropped out.
Okay. Was it because the YouTube money started to ramp up at that point?
Yeah, I was making more money, and also MrBeast told me, he's like, just drop out of college. You know, I said, well, I want to do film. This is what I always got into this for. Yeah, I'm making waves as a streamer, but what I really do is the videos firsthand. I was trying to show you before what I was doing with Ye in Spain, the films and stuff. And I was banned on YouTube at the time, so I posted them on Twitter. But I've been doing that most of my life. That was the main focus. So I want to make movies. That's the end goal. But he was saying, why don't you just make movies and put them on YouTube? And there was no logical rebuttal to that. You know, there's no difference. It's still a video that people watch.
Right.
The only difference is the allure that you put behind it and the stake that you add to it. It's like people have this idea that film needs to be this really high art. Why don't I just do it on the internet? So I dropped out.
Okay, so you dropped out of college and now you're a full-time YouTuber. You met Andrew Tate around 2021? 2022. Okay. And that's when everything started to go crazy in the whole like red pill
world. That was
world.
like 4 years after I dropped out. So before red pill and streaming, I had 1 million subscribers on YouTube. People knew me from the short films I was doing, talking about, you know, drugs and race and life and philosophy and God, and making, I will call them short films, or documentaries, video essays, and then I got into streaming later on.
Okay, so you meet Andrew Tate in 2022. You're around 24 years old.
Yes.
23, 24.
23,
yeah. In August of 2022, Andrew Tate gets banned on all social media platforms. As someone that knew him, what did you think?
I thought I was next.
Okay.
And I was right.
You're right.
I got banned everywhere about a month later.
Right, because in October, your main YouTube channel got banned.
Yeah, my second channel and TikTok, which I'm still banned on, Meta, Twitch, everything.
Okay, so explain exactly why you got banned.
So I got banned for different reasons. YouTube was COVID misinformation and election misinformation, which they apologized for back in October of 2025. They said, thank you for your patience. We're sorry. We were wrong. They emailed me essentially saying, okay, you were right. They reversed their misinformation policy. And I was one of the only channels, I think the only one that actually got reinstated. So they have a new policy now where formerly banned creators can make a new account. I was the one who got reinstated because I was unjustly banned. So everyone else, like Steve will do it, he made a new channel. They gave me my old stuff back, which was, you know, I always wanted that. That's the kid has my whole life on there. You can see, if you go to my Sneako channel, my main channel, which I post the videos on, I have kept everything up since I was, 14.
I mean, to have 1 million subscribers, and I understand, like I remember at a certain point in my life when I finally hit 1 million, you get the YouTube gold plaque.
I wish I had it here, it's in New York.
Oh, it's in New York, yeah. Well, mine's in New York also, actually. But it really is, as a YouTuber, a big deal to get 1 million followers, 1 million subscribers. And then suddenly you get shut down. How was that day?
Sucked.
Yeah.
Not ideal. It was my life. It was like
Yeah.
everything that meant everything to me. You know, I put everything, like I said, I dropped out of college. It was everything I put into that. So, but I never was afraid. Like I talk about this on stream. My parents said, okay, I should go back to college. Maybe I should get a job, hang up the camera and give up. But I said, I'm gonna figure it out anyway.
Okay. What was the pivot at that point?
I went to Rumble.
Okay.
I was streaming on and uploading Rumble videos for 2 years.
Right, because you had to start from zero on Rumble, right?
From
So
scratch.
now you got to build up. Now you do have a following, but still you're still starting at zero.
From scratch.
How hard was that?
Not that hard.
Really?
I mean, I have a big work ethic. I have a very strong work ethic. So, but I was able to run it up pretty quickly. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, I got unbanned on Twitter. That one, I got banned on Twitter because I called out this guy, this Twitch streamer for a fight, and they said it was like inciting violence, which I think is ridiculous. It's like people call each other out for fights all the time. And it was not for like it was like for a sanctioned boxing match. So I was banned on different platforms for different reasons. TikTok, they never gave me anything. Twitch, they said off-platform behavior, which I think is stupid. I've been banned on there indefinitely suspended 3 times, and they're still processing my unban right now. Everywhere, Meta, I don't even know. I've heard from an insider that I'm part of a dangerous organizations list. So I don't know if that's a white supremacy thing or Hamas. I'm not sure. I get labeled everything, you know, who knows? And some people call me a communist.
Well, that same year, Kanye
Yeah.
goes on Twitter and he tweets, I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew also. You guys have toyed with me and try to blackball me, anyone who opposes your agenda. That caused a ripple effect where he lost his deal with Adidas, Balenciaga, Gap, CAA, Def Jam, and a bunch of others. Did you know Kanye at that point?
Yeah, that's when I first met Ye. Right after that, I was on Ye 24. I went to LA and was part of that political campaign.
Okay, because he was running for president at the time. How did that meeting actually happen?
So there was a guy named Milo who did the introduction.
Yep, I know who Milo is.
And he put that together. I had known Nick Fuentes, and so he was also there. Went out to LA, and that was the rest is history.
Okay. And how did he incorporate you into what he was doing?
I was also making videos. I was editing videos for the campaign. You know, I remember I had a conversation. I wanted to be like the creative director of that, which he, you know, that was a title with a big little. I don't even think that title, creative director, existed before Ye. So that was maybe a little bit too ambitious of me to say that to who I think is the greatest artist alive or maybe of all time. And yeah, but the political campaign, it didn't really translate to anything legitimate. But I think it did make waves, and I think it was pioneering for people to be critical of Israel's involvement in America.
So you started working with Kanye in 2022. Did you stop working with him and then start working with him again?
Yeah, so I stopped working with him afterwards, essentially got fired. And
for what?
He didn't like one of the, it was creative differences.
Okay,
so
one of the videos you made he didn't like?
Essentially.
Okay. You stopped working with Ye, and you're still doing your thing, right? You're on Rumble, but then in 2024, you get banned off of Instagram.
And yes, I was in Mecca at the time.
Okay.
Which is, I reverted to Islam in 2020, the beginning of 23.
When you say reverted, what does that mean?
Reverted means go back to your natural state. So we believe that everybody is naturally a Muslim. You're born a Muslim.
Got it.
And then people go off onto different tangents. But everybody's natural inclination is to worship one God.
Okay.
Worship the one true God.
What made you, because growing up, were you religious at all?
You grew up Catholic.
Catholic. Parents both Catholic? Right, and Haiti's primarily Catholic, right?
And the Philippines primarily.
And the Philippines, yeah, exactly. You're right. So you went from Catholicism to Islam.
I was kind of atheist. So like a lot of Catholics in America, you go to mass. I went to catechism growing up. I did all that. I almost got confirmed. I was baptized, all this. But I never, when I prayed, I would pray to God. I wouldn't pray to Mary or the Holy Spirit. I wouldn't pray to saints. I was just praying to God. So I always loved Malcolm X. I would say that was one of my biggest inspirations.
Really? Okay.
I read the Malcolm X autobiography when I was 12.
Yeah.
And seeing his transformation when he found Islam in jail was really inspiring. And there's a tweet that I posted in 2015 where I said, I'm seriously considering converting to Islam because of Malcolm X and seeing his transformation. So when I learned more about it, I decided, oh yeah, I am Muslim. This is what I've always believed in. So that's why I say reverted.
Okay, that's what's up. So you're in Mecca, then you find out you're banned from Instagram.
Yes, it was during an interview in Ramadan in Mecca, and I'm there with the Ihram doing, this is a very important religious pilgrimage. And during an interview, I got a text, you're banned on Instagram. So just continue the interview. Imagine like right now, you just find out.
Yeah, my whole YouTube channel went down.
Yeah.
Permanently.
But I'm interviewing somebody, so I just have to maintain frame. And afterwards, I'm like, I just got banned. So that was a pivotal moment.
For what exactly?
They didn't tell me. I don't know.
Really?
They just shut it down.
Meta's crazy like that though. Like Facebook and Instagram, they don't give you a real reason. They don't give you a real way to come back. It's a really messy platform.
I mean, TikTok too. Now it's owned by Oracle. It used to be owned by the Chinese, and now it's owned by Larry Ellison.
Well, the American version is owned by Oracle.
Correct.
The Chinese version is still owned by China.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So TikTok, you got banned as well? Okay. And you got permanently banned on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
For what?
Twitch, they said off-platform behavior.
Off-platform behavior.
I don't know what that is. They didn't tell me what it was. I don't know if I did a salute in my sleep by accident and they had a camera, or maybe I said a slur, I mumbled it, like mumbled the N-word, and I don't know what specifically I did.
But you're half Haitian, so I mean you're half black, right?
A quarter black.
Quarter black?
Yeah.
In America, that's black.
I have the pass. Thanks, Vlad.
I'm giving you the pass.
I got the pass. I got the.
I mean, I can't really give you the
I
pass.
got the pass from Vlad. Appreciate it. So anybody who try to, I got Vlad co-signed.
You got Vlad gave you the N-word pass.
The Jewish Fed.
Okay. Okay. So, in a way, you lose a lot of platforms again. Are you still on Rumble though?
Yes.
So Rumble is now your only platform again?
Yes.
Okay. How did that feel?
I knew I was going to figure it out.
Okay.
I thrive under pressure. When I'm under those circumstances where it seems like the world is against me, that's where I really get to see what I'm capable of. I like high pressure situations.
Okay. And then by 2025, you and Kanye link up again?
In April of 2025, I flew out to Spain. He said on stream that he wanted streamers to come out there. He mentioned a couple, you said Kai Cenat, Aiden Ross, Sneako, and I took the next flight and went out there. It was supposed to just be for a couple days to do some streams, but then I started making documentaries and I documented that whole era in Spain. And it went from 3 days. Neon went too. So when other streamers didn't go, I figured that I should bring another streamer out there because he wanted someone else to go. It seemed like, and nobody else was. So I hit up Neon, you met him, and he came with me. They did a stream, and it went from 3 days, and I ended up staying there for 5 whole weeks.
So now you're in Spain with Ye. And you guys ended up doing a live stream.
We did maybe 12 or 13 live streams out in Spain.
Okay, but on May 1st, you did one. That was the one with...
End of April. End of April.
Okay, end of April. That's the one with top 5 was in it?
That was like the third or fourth one.
Okay.
The first one was the interview I just showed you that was kind of like a Vlad interview where
right.
I'm behind the camera asking questions.
Okay. But the one that kind of exploded was the one that you did with Top 5?
Top 5 where you just swastika chain.
Right, yeah. Top 5 who ripped me off for $3,000.
He did?
Yeah.
He was just on my stream last night.
Yeah, he
I can ask him about that if you want.
Yeah, bring it up. I mean, we publicly talked about it. Yeah, I mean, he wanted to do an interview and we were gonna do it for like $6,000, but he just insisted on $3,000 up front. And I'm like, I don't usually do this, but fine, here you go. It's not a lot of money. And he's talking to me every day. He's FaceTiming me every day. This is after he got his neck cut up in the UK.
Damn, you made me feel like I should charge for this interview.
So then the day of the interview, he disappears. Doesn't answer phones, whatever. And then he hits me a month later. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I got gambling problems. I'm gonna make it up to you. You don't have to pay me the rest. I'll do it for free. And then it just never happened.
Oh, okay.
And my thing is just, it's dumb because it's like, come on, it's not a lot of money. And, someone, who has the type of following myself is going to put that out there. And now you're going to lose other business over a couple $1,000s. It just doesn't.
It's not worth.
It just doesn't make sense. But I guess other people, have said that he ripped them off and stuff like that. I feel like they're the dude that just likes to steal from people. I think like he just gets off on it. I don't know.
That's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you guys do that stream. That's when Top 5 takes off his chain and gives it to Ye, and Ye takes off his swastika chain and gives it to Top 5.
They're playing the original version of the song.
Right. What's funny, actually, I talked to Top 5, and he said his lawyer left him after that swastika video.
Lawyer? You could probably guess what.
I'm sure it was a Jewish lawyer.
Yeah, there you go. You said it, not me.
Right. So that's when an early version of Hail Hitler was actually streamed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
On my stream.
Okay. So had you already heard that song before?
Yes, I heard an AI version. Something it was like leaked online a little bit.
Huh.
So I heard that he was working on it, but that was, you really got to hear the song. But yeah, there were leaked versions on the internet.
Right, and Dave Blunt's actually wrote it.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. He also wrote the Cousin song.
So he just starts telling me a bunch of the stories about his life. And then he says, yeah, man, it's like, the whole porn thing. It's like I started reading, dirty magazines with my cousin. They were my dad's magazines. And then,
Wait. His dad had gay magazines?
No. This is just two straight magazines. I'm getting to it.
Okay, my bad. Sorry to interrupt you. Because I was like, because you can see why I said that.
Yeah.
Right, okay, go on. My bad.
Yeah, so it starts reading straight magazines with his cousin.
Got it.
From his dad. His dad's magazines, they snuck and found him. And then he starts reading his mom's magazine. His mom has two dudes. Two, like, gay magazines. And him and his cousin start practicing what they're seeing. And, he just told me, he was telling me, like, when you're a kid, you do things and then you find out later that it's wrong when you get in trouble for it. Like, oh, don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. I'm like, shit, you're right. You know what I'm saying?
I love that song.
You love the Cousin song?
Gave my cousin head. I gave my cousin head. It's beautiful. But he's not about that now. I know he's not, that has been removed.
Right. Okay. So when that song got streamed, what was the reaction?
That I thought was that was the best way to show the song, because there was a bunch of black people and, like, Top 5, kind of that thug thing going on. It showed it was kind of gangster. It has a different perception during Clubbercost because, it turns into like this political thing. But even then, when we were talking about the song earlier, like, oh, the song Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler. Well, no, the song's Nigga Heil Hitler. Nigga Heil Hitler.
I gave you the N-word pass, by the way, so go ahead.
I know.
Saying it, right.
I appreciate it, Vlad. The song is Nigga Heil Hitler. So that's a very important context there. So that original viewing of the song gives a whole different effect on people. Seeing, with the chain doing the whole rapper thing, that, like, niggas howling Hitler is a different. This is not what the Nazis were. Hitler wasn't scamming people for $3K, chain here, grill on,
Scamming people for $3K.
Throwing up sets, like throwing up the swastika set and all that. So people were just like, they saw the nuance in it. They saw how it was satirical.
Well, do you know that you had a Jewish grandfather at this point?
Mm-hmm.
So
Half Jewish.
Half Jewish
And
grandfather.
his mother's not Jewish, so technically not even. Your mom needs to be Jewish. So
yeah, according to some Jewish people, yeah, your mother has to be Jewish or.
No, that's true. That's like that.
Well, yeah, but these days it's changing a little bit. Now, I think that's bullshit. I mean, why does your mother control what you're?
That's what the Torah says, right?
I understand that, but I think it's a stupid rule. I think if you have a Jewish father, like
you disagree with the Torah. But.
I do actually.
Oh, okay.
I'm Jewish, and my kid's mother is black, but I still consider my.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't give me the pass then.
Well, not really, but
Okay.
But I have half black, half Jewish kids.
Oh, you're trying to make some Drakes.
Pretty much.
You're gonna put it in the industry.
Pretty much, yeah. I got like a couple of little baby Drakes.
You got some baby Drakes. Okay, they're gonna be very successful if you. Okay, they can play basketball or rap and have the best lawyers.
Okay. So that song comes out, and what's interesting about, I don't know if it was that stream or a different stream, but Ye said, I gotta use the bathroom, where's Virgil's grave?
Oh man, I gotta use the bathroom, where's Virgil's grave? Okay, so, oh my God.
Yeah, I remember you kind of sort of like put your head in your hands.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I mean, that was him at the time. I don't think that he believes in that, but I don't think it's I don't agree with, disrespecting dead people in that way. But I know they have a separate relationship. They were close friends, and also, so that's their issue. I don't know Virgil. I've never met him, but I wouldn't say that myself. And so, like, me being on camera there, I just didn't want to seem like that was something that I agree with.
Do you know what that beef is about?
No, I probably shouldn't speak on that. That's they have their own differences. Oh, they did. He's no longer alive.
Yeah, I kind of know what it's about. You want to say it?
Sure.
From what I understand, because Virgil came up under Kanye, and Kanye always wanted to be the creative director of Louis Vuitton, and then when
creative
Virgil,
director, you see, well, that's why.
Right. So then when Virgil ended up getting that job, I heard that Kanye just felt betrayed that one of his own people took a job that the whole crew knew that he really wanted. Mm-hmm. He was Khan, the Louis Vuitton Don. Like, he had been repping that. He had a couple of Louis Vuitton sneakers.
Person, actually Louis Vuitton mom.
Right. Exactly. He had his own, Louis sneakers and everything else like that.
And you can see, he just issued an apology yesterday, talking about mental health and brain damage and this stuff. So I think we should be able to accept his apology and understand that maybe he wasn't. Not everything is representative of what he thinks now.
Well, the stream plays, the song gets introduced. Is the whole song played on stream?
Yes.
The whole song.
Original version of the song, yeah.
Right. And then on May 8th of 2025, he actually releases the Hail Hitler song.
On my stream.
Right, but then it gets released on streaming platforms initially.
And it was taken down.
And it was taken down. How long did it take for them to take everything down?
A couple hours.
Couple hours. But not only was the song taken down from most streaming platforms, he was actually banned from performing in most European countries. His visa got taken away from Australia, and his wife is from Australia. So I know he wanted to go visit the family and he couldn't do that. And initially, it really stopped a lot of his performance and touring. So this is why you see him performing in like South Korea, China. He's got a show in Mexico City coming up, because a lot of the big...
Live Nation.
Yeah. He was supposed to do a big show in Brazil. I know that got canceled because a lot of people protested and so forth. Like, what was it like to sort of see him get shut down on all these different levels?
I mean, both times I was around him was for the big shutdowns. I was there for Ye24 at post Adidas, post Hugh DEFCON 3, and then I was there for this. So it seemed like the same exact playbook. There's nothing that I wasn't used to. And you see my life, I've had everything shut down just like this. So it's just another day at the job.
What was the mind state like when all this was happening?
For Ye or for me?
For him.
I don't want to speak too much for him because he is his own man, and I don't want to seem like I'm his representative or his manager or anything. But I would say, from my perspective, in a way, it was kind of freeing. To not have obligations or any, to just be, this is how, I would say mostly how I felt, because when I have been banned, it's like, okay, now these people, I don't have to censor myself. I don't have to be under this, because when you're on YouTube, or when you're always under the umbrella of, you can't say this word, you can't talk about this subject, you can't go too far here. You're always thinking there's a censorship umbrella that exists above you. So when that gets lifted and released, you are one of the most free people in the world.
Okay. Did you continue working with Ye, or did you guys kind of part ways at one point?
I was there for the rest of May, for several weeks.
Got it. So the Cuck album never comes out.
Great album.
Yeah?
I love Cuck, yeah.
So why do you call it Cuck?
Because, well, I don't want to explain his artistry. I don't want to explain his. But if you listen to the album, And I have a lot of footage from out there, and I've heard his explanation, but I want to leave that up to him. I don't want to speak about his art, especially because he didn't release the album and it doesn't represent him now. All right.
So that whole album got scrapped?
Correct. It got leaked online. And there's a tweet from that era where he's saying, doesn't this kind of prove my point? That they're leaking it online, they're shutting me down. This shows why I'm doing everything that I'm doing.
Right. Was it around that time that he said, I'm not black, I'm a Caucasian?
Yeah. Bar.
Okay, so that album gets scrapped. So now he starts working on Bully.
He was working on Bully, I think, even before Cuck.
Oh, really? So these were like multiple projects happening at the same time?
Mm.
Okay. Dave Blunt's was around for Cuck.
Mm.
Now, you guys never met personally, but...
We spoke on the phone for hours and hours and hours, yeah.
Why do you think Dave Blunt's parted ways? Because you claimed that Ye was grooming him, and I'm like, come on, get out of here. I don't think Ye was grooming Dave Blunt.
He's from Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he even knew any Jews. So I don't think he knew what was happening. I don't think he knew the weight. I don't think he knew what the repercussions were going to be. I don't think he knew much about that. I think he was just trying to make good music. And so when he saw the reception, I think he felt responsible. And in a way, he probably thought he was putting out an energy into the world that he didn't want to put. And so I think he felt a lot of the pressure and was trying to alleviate himself for it. But again, I don't know him that well. I don't know his intentions, but to see him then say that afterwards, I thought was disrespectful, and I was very disappointed in him. Because I do like the guy, but that was a betrayal.
Yeah, I've interviewed Dave Blunt a couple of times, and he talked about how when he first met Ye, and Ye said he wants to work with him, he went in the bathroom and had a panic attack.
I played him my album, and he loved it, and he just said he wanted me to write his whole album for him, and I was like, yeah, okay, I can do that. I had a panic. I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I had like a panic attack, and
You had a panic attack.
Yeah, like an actual panic attack. Yeah, like
Well, yeah, I mean, the biggest artist in the world, essentially, or one of them, just asked you to write his own album.
That's how excited he was to actually have this opportunity, because he was a very underground artist at that point. And yeah, I thought for him to publicize, show, the text between him and Ye, and then claim that Ye was trying to groom him, I thought was just not handled very well. Mm-hmm. You could have privately just moved away and so forth, and that would open the door for you guys to work together in the future. Because, look, I've interviewed Ye when he was Kanye, probably back in 2004, 2005.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
College Dropout.
It was before College Dropout. It was actually, it was right when he dropped Through the Wire. He was working on Common's album. There's a picture of us, the three of us in the studio together. It was an audio interview that I lost over the years.
You lost it?
I lost it, yeah. I'm a little mad about that. But I could tell you that the Ye that you see today, in terms of like the extreme overconfidence, the I'm the best, and why don't you guys realize it, that was exactly that. Back in 2004. It was the exact same person. He didn't get a bunch of fame and money and change. He was already like that.
He had a belief that people resonated with. Yeah. Because in order to get to that level, you first need to be almost delusionally self-confident.
Right.
And I'm not saying delusional like crazy, but people will think you are, they'll look at you like, what? And if you have that sort of self-belief and you don't place mental limitations on you, that's the mind frame that's the frame you need to be in to get to that point.
I remember in that interview, I was talking to him about producing stand-up for Ludacris, right? And this was after he had done a bunch of stuff for like Jay-Z that had a very specific type of style. Through the Wire had a specific type of style with the sped up samples and everything else like that. And I remember I asked him, I said, yeah, when I heard that you did stand-up, you were the last person I thought that produced that track because it's so different than what you usually produce. And he was like, well, if you hear a dope track, I should be the first person you should think that produced that track. And this is like, okay, this is Kanye right here. I get it. He's not dissing you, but he doesn't understand why you don't think how great he is at the time.
Right. And now people understand.
And later on, people understood. Because I remember in that studio, Through the Wire wasn't really a huge hit. It was more of an underground song.
Right.
But he played me slow jams with Twister.
Jamie Foxx.
And Jamie Foxx. And I was like, you know,
It's one
she
of
got a
the-
light-skinned friend, look like Michael Jackson, got a dark skin. And I'm like, yo, this is dope. This is a hit. And sure enough, that became his first real hit record. Then after that, Jesus Walks and everything else like that. But yeah, I remember that moment. And yeah, he proved everyone that he was right this whole time. So we get into 2026. January 19th, the Red Pill Avengers were assembled.
That title is so corny.
I thought I just made it up.
No,
Other people have said it?
Oh, so many times. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all.
I literally have never heard it. I thought I made it up.
That's what they're saying. They keep saying.
Okay.
Red Pill ban. I've distanced myself from the Red Pill, so maybe that is my. You know, I was doing streams with Clavicular, and he said, "Okay, Andrew Tate's doing this party. You know, you should come." And I'm like, "Okay." We went back and forth. I criticized him for taking a gambling deal because that is, you know, the slave mind that is against the Matrix. It doesn't make sense. But was invited, went anyway. Took that picture, and people said, "Oh, the Red Pill Avengers are back." But I've been very critical of the Red Pill because there's so many flaws in that ideology. I think it values materialism over what's real. I think it values this false idea of masculinity. I don't think it values women properly. I think there's obviously feminism is bad, but I want to see this elevate. I want to see positivity in the world. And a lot of that is really negative. You know, I spoke to the Red Pill Godfather a couple of years back. We had this debate.
Who is that?
I don't even want to say his name. It's just, he calls himself the Godfather of the Red Pill. He wrote, whatever.
No idea who that
older
is.
guy. And he was saying that for men to be high value, they need to get vasectomies. And I'm like, this is stupid. We need to have children. We need to, what's high value? You're going to be on a yacht with no kids and you're going to be 80 years old. You need to have children. You need to, like, obviously feminism is bad, but we want to uplift women as well, not hate them and think that we're just going to sleep with them so that use them as status and as an object, as props in your life. We need to coexist. That stuff's important. So I think there's a lot of problems within that. And obviously the Red Pill means the truth, but I think a lot of people have taken it to make content, to be advantageous. So I don't agree. And I would not want to put myself within that world.
Just as a side note, you can still have kids if you got a vasectomy.
You can?
Yeah, I got a vasectomy after I had my kids, but I froze my sperm before I did that. So if I want to have more kids, I have more kids on deck. But with a vasectomy, you can actually control who you have kids with. See what I'm saying?
You pull out too.
That doesn't always work. Shout out to my man, Michael Blackson. He was bragging in one of my interviews how he's been pulling out for 20 years and he's not worried, and he had a kid about 3 months later. Actually, he had 2 kids by 2 different women in that same year.
So you're using the pull-out method.
It's a few methods. I mean, condom, and if I know her very well and we've been testing, I feel comfortable, then
Right, but that doesn't prevent pregnancy.
pull-out doesn't.
You know what they
doesn't,
call?
right.
You know what they call people who use the pull-out method?
What?
Parents.
Well, I ain't been a parent in 16 years, motherfucker, so obviously.
All it takes is that one sperm. That one sperm just,
Hey, you know
maneuver
what?
its way to that egg and boom.
And if it happens, man, I just gotta be another daddy.
There you go.
There you go.
So
Yeah, he can't pull out of his own driveway. So here you guys are, January 19th. And first you see a video like in a Sprinter, right? And it was you, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, Clavicular, Nick Fuentes, Myron Gaines, and Justin Waller.
Mm-hmm.
What made you guys all like decide to just hang out like such a group?
we were there for that party, and we were just bored. Nick said he'd never been to the club.
He's never been to the club?
No. You know, we're making content.
Isn't Nick a virgin?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, he's waiting till marriage.
Okay. Got it.
He's true to his faith. He's a Catholic. Piers Morgan criticized, "Oh, you're a virgin." Well, he's waiting until marriage. So what are you supposed to do? This is how you're supposed to follow the religion. So to see him get criticism over that, it's like, this is exactly what Catholic men, to be shamed for that is stupid.
I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of. I respect people's belief, but I think if he got some pussy, his life would change. That's from my point of view.
For the better.
For the better. I think for the better. I think so.
I know him. He's one of my best friends. His life's, he's true to what he believes in. I don't think it needs to change. If he wanted to do it, he could get pussy. It's not that hard.
True.
So
true.
So yeah, and I'm live streaming. So we figured, okay, let's do something. This partner's getting stale. We go to the club.
So you guys all go to the club together.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are still in the Sprinter van, and you start playing the Hail Hitler song.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who plays it, but it gets played. And everyone starts singing along. I think Myron's doing like the Hail Hitler, arm thing. At that point, was Andrew Tate with it, or did he look uncomfortable?
Looked fine to me.
Looked fine to you. So then you guys get to the club.
Everybody looked fine with it, and I've seen everybody, pretty much everyone. I want to speak for everybody in the club, but it seemed like everybody liked the song. Most people there had some sort of communication with Ye before. I've seen people play it before. I didn't think it was going to be an issue. And at the end of the day, it's a song.
Well, you guys go to Club Vendome in Miami.
Yeah.
And at one point, the song gets played in the club itself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, later on...
Which is all being blamed on me.
Later on, Andrew Tate said that you were the one that played it. Or you put it in the playlist.
Yeah.
But you're denying that.
Well, it's just not true. I mean, the stream's out there. You could watch it back. I was just in the section having fun. Yeah, there's no proof of that.
Okay, so who played it?
It's out there. People can. It's already went viral. You could see who did it. But
was it one of the people in that crew?
Mm-hmm.
Can you say who it is?
No, I mean, look, people can search for themselves and everything. All the blame is being pointed on me. So
well, I want you to say it because all the blame is being put on you at this point.
Exactly, you're right.
Andrew Tate has a very loud voice. So when Andrew Tate says it and everyone's blaming it on you, why not just say who really did it?
So, and that's the issue. People got fired from the club. The club was under a lot of pressure. They had to issue an apology. And I am incentivized to say who played it or whatever. There's two things. One, it's just a song. So if people want to say that, I'm not going to be ultra defensive about it because this is America. We have free speech. I'm also not going to go out and publish because that's what they're trying to do. I don't want to use the same tactics that they're using against me. And, people are seeing it for themselves anyway. I think it's getting exposed regardless. The truth always comes to light. And I don't have connections at that club. I don't know who the DJ is. I don't really go there often.
Right, but the DJ didn't play it himself. The DJ didn't see you guys and say, hey, I'm going to play Hail Hitler.
Yeah.
And get fired afterwards.
The songs are moved off streaming platforms, so they probably have to go to Rumble to find the song.
You can find the song. I'm not saying the song is impossible to find, but I don't think that the DJ played it himself.
Somebody had to give him...
Somebody from your crew, you already said...
And it obviously wasn't me.
It's like wasn't
you can see this, just watch back the stream. It's like funny that people are trying to lie and say that everyone's pointing at me. Andrew Tate's blaming me. A lot of those people are blaming me. And this is, again, it doubles down and it really validates my point that the red pill is a corny, cringe, waste of space. Because if people are supposed to be men of accountability, if we're supposed to be the men who are all about the truth, men are supposed to be the logical ones, and then they all lie and blame me, make me the fall guy, it just discredits the entire movement. It makes it look like a bunch of frauds. So I've been vindicated there. I don't know the DJ. I don't know how to connect it to that. I wasn't there. I know just watch back the show. It's on my YouTube channel.
Right. Well, you were at the club, but you're saying you weren't there with the DJ giving him the song.
No, the stream's up.
Okay,
you guys
got
can
it.
see that.
I believe you.
It's not about whether you believe me. It's just It's literally like it was live stream that everybody saw it.
Got it.
So this is the beauty of live streaming.
Well, all this happens and all hell breaks loose. And from what I understand, Ye was actually bothered by it because he was already kind of in the process of trying to distance himself from that. Did you and Ye talk about that song and kind of like the whole hoopla that came from it?
I'm not going to speak about that.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so all this happens, and then the various people from that crew start to address it in different ways.
Everybody folds.
Andrew Tate does a podcast. He said he did not sing along to that song. He didn't make the salutes, the Nazi salutes.
I really didn't do anything wrong. So I want to make this clear. I understand why some people were offended. I understand they want to attach it to my name. I understand that it gets clicks in the media if you say Andrew Tate did X, Y, Z. I got on a bus. Full-grown men made decisions while I sat on my phone. I then got off the bus and stood in a nightclub while other people played songs while I sat on my phone. If they want to crucify me for that, that's up to them. Myron made the Nazi salute because he thought it was funny. That's Myron to come here and defend.
Of course.
It's not for me to sit here and come here and defend. Myron is someone I know and I respect and I like. Even if he did something that offended me, even if I found that offensive, I would still say, oh, okay, well, I like Myron.
Right, he retracted intent. Kind of like the girls accusing him of human trafficking. It's like you sleep with a guy. I regret it. I didn't mean to. It's like, come on, man. You know?
Right. And he blamed you on social media posts and said you played the song during the event.
Yeah.
Now, you responded to him and you said he's no longer the top G.
Stole that shit. Give me that. Yo, Vlad, I talk facts. I talk facts. You don't know what to do with that top G. Give me that.
So you're the top G now?
I'm top G. I'm a man of my word.
Okay.
I don't fold under pressure. It's a song. We're supposed to escape the Matrix. Isn't this the Matrix? If they're going to go browbeat you, if the mayor's going to say I'm banned from Miami because of a song, that is literally the Matrix. So I'm not going to try to put blame on other people. I am not going to apologize for enjoying a song that is undeniably a masterpiece. I don't apologize. I'm not sorry. I'm not going to point my finger at other people. That's what Top G does. Top G can listen to a song. Top G doesn't fold.
Well, Myron Gaines, he posted a video where he was dressed as a Hasidic Jew and he danced around. Clavicular, he defended the song online.
Yeah, this is viral. This is fucking everywhere, man. This is the sort of thing a 9-year-old boy finds funny. It's funny because we literally got a Jewish club in Miami Beach to play Hall Hitler, right? That's what makes it funny.
Said it's a normal music song.
Is the song
violence.
not a masterpiece? Sonically?
Sonically, it's okay.
Come on.
It's okay. I'm a Kanye fan, right?
It's okay. The drums and everything, the triumphant nature of it, the horns.
Compared to his other work, no, I wouldn't put it in the same caliber.
It's triumphant. There's power in that, regardless of the lyrics. If you separate the Jewish aspect, I know that there's a conflict of interest, but at the end of the day, niggas weren't hailing Hitler. Niggas weren't supporting the Nazi movement. The Nazis are done. The party doesn't exist.
The Nazi didn't like black people.
Yeah, Hitler's dead.
Right. But like, in fact, in Germany, if you were mixed like Kanye's kids, they would actually go through a procedure where you couldn't actually have kids because they didn't want you polluting the pure German race.
So let's put all this into context. Like, so
you do know about that, right?
Of course.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
It's silly. Nigga, how like this is also like they took my kids from me. They froze my bank account. I got so much anger in me, got no way to take it out. I'm stuck in the Matrix. Yes, I'm a cuck. I like when people, like, none of this is about Hitler or the Nazi movement. It's just like, you're going to say this all about me. You're going to attack me. You're going to call me all these things. I'm going to be the villain then. It's like Eminem. I am whatever you say I am. If I'm not, it's just accepting all that instead of folding under the, it's okay. And I love how freeing that is. And it's a statement of resistance. And I support that. Obviously, you know, he's not on that anymore, but I can't deny it as a fan of the music. It's beautiful.
I mean, look, you and I have had conversations leading up to this interview. You know that I'm Jewish. I know that you're Muslim. And we talked about how, regardless of what our views are, we still respect each other. And
I love Jews. I love everybody.
Right. And I love Muslims. At the end of the day, I have very close Muslim friends. Shout out to BG Knockout. Shout out to Napoleon. A lot of different people. You know, and at the end of the day, when the whole conflict, you know, between Hamas and Israel happened, I went on the Breakfast Club very early on and I said, both sides are wrong. There's fault in both sides. Mm-hmm. I didn't say just because I'm Jewish that Israel's in the right. And I'm not going to say that Hamas is in the wrong completely because there's reasons why both parties did what they did. And I think it's fucked up for both people to do it. And I think very few Jewish people like to say that publicly. But at the end of the day, I think it's true. I don't think it's a genocide. I think it's a war.
Okay.
I think it's a war. But I think the way that Israel's handling it is poorly.
Why is it not a genocide?
I don't think it's a genocide. I don't think they're trying to kill everyone in that region.
No?
No.
What do you
I think they're trying to kill Hamas, and I think they're trying to get the hostages back. But the way they're doing
70,000 people?
the way they're doing it is horrible. The way they're doing it is horrible. Just in the same way, and we talked about this, that if a whole bunch of people showed up at Rolling Loud and start spraying up the whole crowd and kidnapping people, young people who have nothing to do with the military, nothing to do with any wars, I think that would be fucked up.
Once again, it didn't start on October 7th.
No, it started earlier.
1948.
Right, because Gaza was essentially an open-air prison that was blockaded out as soon as Hamas became the power structure, was voted in, however that
Even though it
was.
got less than the majority vote.
Hamas?
Yeah, they still won the election without that.
Exactly. So you're saying they stole the election?
No, I'm saying the majority of Palestinians are saying, oh, this is their government. The majority didn't even vote for Hamas.
So that's a problem in and of itself.
But there's two things. There's one, you can say that Israel had prior knowledge of October 7th, the way Charlie Kirk said that on PBD, which they removed everywhere, as a reason to justify the genocide. That's one point. The second point is that it doesn't start here. And to expect people who are in an open-air prison not to retaliate after years of seeing their families wiped out, of seeing their homes taken away from them, to expect them to just sit there and take it is ridiculous.
I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
And this is someone who's been to Israel, who's been to Palestine, who sat down and had dinner with Palestinian families in the West Bank. So I understand both sides, and I respect both sides. And just because I was born a certain type of way, I'm not just going to take one side. And I really hope at some point that there really is some level of peace in that region, because my whole life, there has not been.
Right. But we were again talking about this before the interview. Every time that they have the negotiations, right, there are Hamas negotiators in Doha and Qatar, what happens? Israel bombs the buildings. So they say, okay, they can't negotiate. We want to release the hostages. If you really wanted to release the hostages, then why are you killing the people who are supposed to do the negotiations to release the hostages? From what it seems like, just based off of the military action, doesn't seem like they have any interest to. It seems like they're using the hostages to justify wiping out the region. And we got to a point now, it's 2026. Trump just went to the World Economic Forum with Jared Kushner, and they are bragging about making it the new Dubai. Gaza's great real estate. We're going to bring the Trump casino. They want to bring towers there.
That would be horrible. I really hope that doesn't happen.
It's disgusting, Vlad.
Yeah, I agree.
Disgusting.
I agree.
They wipe it out. They leveled it completely. We're going to say both sides. Tel Aviv's fine. Gaza's wiped out, and now they are going to build towers there.
That's horrible.
American real estate.
That's horrible.
They don't care. They don't want the hostages. They don't care. The hostages are this is justification for them to wipe out the region and build casinos there.
Well, do you know the reason behind terrorism? Regardless of whether you're saying
the UN terrorism definition is political assassinations.
Right. I'm saying on both sides. You could call it terrorism on both sides, right? Do you know the reason behind a terrorist attack?
Political motives.
It's to stop the peace process. Whenever there's a peace process that starts to actually get enacted, there's extremists on one side that says, we got to do something to fuck this up. We're going to blow up a school. We're going to blow up a bus. We're going to spray up a whole bunch of innocent people. And then what happens is when that actually occurs, everyone says, we can't work with these people. They're all animals. And then the process starts. The process stops, I mean. And then that's what actually drags everything out. You have to ignore these extreme actions and actually get towards a peace process if you want to get somewhere. But unfortunately, that's not what happens. You get these extremists on both sides who do crazy shit.
Do you think it's comparable? Do you think it's the same level?
Well, obviously, the military power of Israel is nowhere near what's happening in Palestine. So yes, it's not uneven. It's not even. It is uneven. I completely agree with you.
It's slingshots.
And this is why I say that Israel is in the wrong. But you also can't blame, the thing about it also is that you're smart enough to know that this is not all Jewish people. This is
I've never said
Netanyahu. This is the government structure of what's happening over there.
A lot of Israelis are protesting Netanyahu.
I don't like Netanyahu. Okay? I've always said it.
Well, he came to Miami and he was celebrated at the synagogue here. They had a standing ovation.
Okay.
It's funny that the Miami Beach mayor doesn't denounce that, a war criminal who's wanted all over the world. but I play a song. Well, I listen to a song in a club that I like, and he says, "You're not welcome in Miami Beach anymore." A war criminal is welcomed with open arms, but a song enjoyer is demonized in the media publicly. It just shows the clear double standard. This is why I refuse to apologize. It's like, you're going to go browbeat me and be a moral authority for a silly song, but war criminals are welcome.
I don't expect you to apologize. I've never brought that up.
No, not you, but yeah.
Well,
But that is the expectation. You can see, if you've seen the event since Clubtober 7th, you've seen the pressure. Everybody's expecting an apology. Dave Grutman said that you need to kiss the wall in order to go back to the clubs. I'm banned from the clubs in Miami. Okay? I mean, obviously it's a blessing. I shouldn't go there.
okay, so the mayor of Miami, he commented on the whole club situation. He said he's deeply disturbed and disgusted. He called the actions unacceptable and offensive, stressing that celebrating a figure who oversaw the Holocaust where millions were murdered is deeply harmful and must be rejected. Miami is a welcoming and diverse city, and there's no place for that in Miami. He also questioned how the group of you were allowed in the club and seemingly welcome, knowing that other club owners were actually trying to ban you guys. And from what I understand,
For what? I'm not a criminal.
I agree. I think you should be.
The mayor's speaking about me like I'm a felon.
Let me ask you a question, because the Vendome nightclub, they also issued an apology. They called the event deeply offensive and unacceptable. They fired some employees and banned you guys from future entry. But there were reports that the club owners were actually hanging out and were present in the club when that happened. Is that true?
I'm not aware of that.
Not aware?
Yeah, I could say
Have
that.
you heard this before, though?
I have, but at the time I was just hanging out in the club.
Okay.
I wasn't there pulling the strings or setting it up. I didn't organize the section. I just showed up.
Okay.
I don't know the club owners. I don't know people there.
So, from what I understand, you've tried to go to another club since then, and you were told
restaurant.
A restaurant?
Yes.
And you were told you're not welcome. Okay.
Do you agree with this?
No, I don't agree with it. I don't think that you should ban people to prove a point. Okay. And honestly, if you look at what we're doing here, I'm not scared to engage people and to talk to people about their beliefs, even if the beliefs are
I
different.
respect you for that, because so many people aren't.
Right.
Piers Morgan ran like a little pussy. He's just afraid. You know, he's saying that this is worse than the Holocaust. And it's like, bro, you met with Ghislaine Maxwell. So he's going to go on and say like, this is disgusting and you're Hitler worshipping and holy, me mommy and no holy. It's like, bro, you met with Epstein's top woman, top trafficker. You, the bottom bitch. You have your picture next to the bottom bitch of the operation that was an Israeli blackmail to get all the American politicians and billionaires to support Israel. And so you're going to say like you're offended by me? Man, I'm disgusted by you. You've used your platform to promote the Iraq war, which off stream, we talked about how that was all fraudulent, the weapons of mass destruction. Yeah. Afghanistan war was all... Piers Morgan pushed for this. And right now he's pushing for a war in Iran. I am offended that you want to get my country, you're from the UK, to go fight wars that are really all about Israel. This doesn't benefit us. This is what's disgusting.
Well, no, not exactly. Not exactly, because, you know, Israel is a huge military base for the U.S.
Why?
In the Middle East.
How do they benefit us?
Because now we have a big military presence in the Middle East.
For what?
To
fight their wars?
Well, to basically control the world the way the U.S. has been having.
So who's in charge?
I mean, the U.S. has the biggest military in the world, and the reason why the U.S. could do what it does is because of the military.
But all the wars in the Middle East have been fraudulent, off of false pretense, have not benefited us. You cost us trillions.
You don't think the U.S. has benefited from the Middle East? You
How?
don't think so?
No.
You don't think so much of that oil goes back to America?
Well,
do you know why? Do you know why? So I don't want to interrupt you, but the whole thing about Iraq and the invasion of Iraq was that when they started to invade Kuwait, had they taken over Kuwait, they would have controlled about 30% of the world's oil.
Okay, so
and that would have, and this was before electric cars and everything else like that. That would have thrown America into chaos. Because have you ever been to the UK? Gas prices are like $20 a gallon.
Yeah, I don't.
It would have thrown the U.S. into financial chaos, and that's the reason why we went over there.
Do you think millions of lives are worth oil?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
but I'm telling you why they're doing it.
Okay, so then war, you can't justify war with oil.
You can't justify war for any reason, really.
Exactly, especially oil.
I am not disagreeing with you, but I'm telling you this is why America is still supporting Israel, and by having large military access.
Who's really in charge? Israel or the United States? Trump right now, is he the leader of America, leader of the free world?
United States.
Okay, so Mark Levin, a couple of weeks ago, he puts his arm around Trump and says, Trump, you're the first Jewish president. And he's like, yeah, yes, I am. I'm the first Jewish president. He's putting his arm around him. Trump, first president, when he swears in his second term, do you see where he put his hand? Not in the Bible. First president in history to do that.
Really?
Netanyahu came here five times to come and visit. He spends New Year's Eve with Trump. They put the Israeli flag next to him. Is Trump going to Israel with the United States flag next to Netanyahu and addressing the nation? Why is Netanyahu coming here and addressing our nation? Why is a foreign leader, even in our country, addressing us as if he's with us? He's not. This is a foreign country. People don't want to keep spending billions of dollars there.
I mean, other presidents from other countries have come and addressed the U.S. You're saying that Netanyahu is the only foreign president that's addressed the U.S.?
He's on the White House YouTube addressing the nation.
Right, but you're saying that's the only foreign leader that has ever done that?
On the YouTube channel of the White House, there's none other.
That's the YouTube channel of the White House. I'm just talking about throughout history.
I haven't seen any other leader address our nation. Address how you can fact check that now.
I'm about to check.
Side by side with the flag like that. They'll have meetings, they'll shake hands. I don't know any other. No other country where they're going to kiss the wall and every politician, Marco Rubio, these people put on the yarmulke to go kiss the wall. Is Netanyahu kissing the White House?
I mean, a bunch of presidents, former leaders from the United Kingdom, Winston Churchill, Margaret Thatcher, Tony Blair, Theresa May, Rishi Sunak from France, Charles de Gaulle, Jacques Chirac, Nicolas Sarkozy, Emmanuel Macron.
With the flags
Israel, Japan, Canada, India, China, South Africa, Soviet Union, Russia, Mexico.
Addressing our nation?
At the White House, yes.
With the flag addressing the
I don't know about the flag
people of the
part.
United States.
I don't know about
Even
the flag
last
part.
week, Trump addressed the nation and they have an Israeli flag next to the United States flag. And Netanyahu's not even there. They literally have the Israeli, there's no other nation that's on that. Do we have the United States flag and the Japan flag there for no reason? No.
No.
It's the one nation doing that. They're the ones really in control. All of our politicians are kissing their wall. All of our politicians are getting money from AIPAC. It's not the other way around.
I disagree with that, but at the end of the day, this is both of our opinions.
Okay.
Right?
I'm just telling you what's happening.
It's your opinion, and I respect your opinion. Listen, I don't have a problem talking to someone that has differing opinions.
Okay.
And they're still remaining respectful. Like I said, remember when we were talking, you're like, this is going to be like a yelling match between me and Pierce Morgan? I'm like, no, it's not going to be that. That's not how I get down. You can look at my whole catalog, and at the end of the day, I respect what you do. I'm actually in your home right now. The fact that you invited me into your home, I feel is a big deal. And this is why I respect what you do, and I've always respected what you do. And I reached out to you for the interview, and you hit me back and said, yo, let's do it. And here we are.
I woke up late, by the way, to tell him, I work on Black time. I told Vlad 3 p.m. and I slept in my alarm.
All good. Okay, so now, today's January 27th. Yesterday, Ye issued an apology to Jewish and Black people in the Wall Street Journal. He apologized for years of anti-Semitic comments and behavior that drew widespread condemnation. He said he lost touch with the reality and that his past actions were harmful. He said, I'm not a Nazi or an anti-Semite. I love Jewish people. And he said that a lot of his behavior was due to bipolar type 1, which when diagnosed, which was based on the 2002 car accident, which wasn't properly diagnosed until 2023. He said there was a 4-month manic episode in early 2025 where he experienced psychotic, paranoid, and impulsive behavior. Do you know what he's talking about exactly? What exactly is he talking about
I don't want to speak about his health.
Okay, but you were there when that happened?
That manic episode, that was when I was in Spain.
Got it. Okay, got it. That was the Spain thing. Right. He took responsibility for specific controversial actions, including use of Nazi imagery and swastika-themed merchandise. Because at one point he started selling swastika t-shirts on
swastika
Shopify.
was a symbol of peace before the Nazis. It's been a historical symbol.
I know, in India, right?
Yeah. So it's like the symbol now, it was hijacked by the Nazis. You're not allowed to depict it anywhere. It's a symbol originally for peace.
I understand that, but I think that the Nazi version has completely eclipsed the original version. He apologized for praising or amplifying extremist rhetoric and widespread offensive public statements that cause hurt, particularly to Jewish and Black communities. How'd you feel about the whole slavery is a choice and everything else like that?
Slavery is a choice.
You think?
This is the perfect example. Okay. I think, for example, Andrew Tate had the opportunity to choose slavery or choose freedom, and him apologizing for the song is eating the steak, is choosing to be a slave, because it's not wrong to listen to a song. It's not incorrect to enjoy music that you think is good.
Right. I'm not talking about.
That's a form of slavery.
I understand a general version of slavery, but the specific slavery that was happening in America, I don't think was a choice.
My dad's from Haiti, right?
Right. That was the first country to protest against, to actually overthrow the slave masters.
I come from a nation that rebelled against slavery.
Right.
They killed the slave masters. They freed themselves.
Yes.
They decided that this was a choice, that they could band together and they can get rid of their slave masters and they can be free. Obviously, you could debate now whether they are free. You could say that the French banks still control them, the United States still controls them. But at the time, Haitians decided this is a choice. So I agree.
I think that's like saying being in prison is a choice. Yes, you could revolt against the prison guards and the warden, but you'll probably die in the process. And I think to put your own life on the line and assume more likely than not that you're going to die, and if you don't actually succeed, you will be tortured intensely. I don't think you could say that's just a choice, as opposed to, am I going to get Coke or Pepsi today? I think that's the problem with that statement.
I have the utmost respect, and I think the Muslim world, we all see the resistance fighters in Palestine, and it strengthens our faith if you analyze it properly, because they are also deciding that slavery is not a choice. That slavery is a choice. They are seeing that they're in an open-air prison, they're controlled, there's an oppressor, they're being genocided, and they decide to fight back regardless. They decide that they refuse to go out as a slave and fight the people who are trying to wipe them out. They've also decided that this is a choice. And so even though this is a losing battle, even though that Israel will win, most likely, you still don't go out within their control. You go out on your own terms.
You're talking about a whole country of people?
No, not. I'm talking about the resistance fighters. Like Yahya Sinwar.
No, but you're talking about a group of people from an entire country that communicate with each other, that have support from other countries like Iran and so forth, that could actually band together, who have access to weapons, who have access to missiles, who have access to all types of guns and so forth, as opposed to a plantation with a dozen slaves who can't read, can't write, are isolated from their own culture. Because at least the Palestinians know who they are, right?
Well, I mean, they are trying to change. Even the word anti-Semitism is ridiculous. Like, you're Ashkenazi, correct?
Right.
You're not Semitic. So they say, this song is anti-Semitic, wait, who are the real Semites? It's the Palestinians. This is why DNA tests are not allowed in Israel, because you find out these people these people are not indigenous to the Middle East at all.
I actually have Middle Eastern blood. Like I actually test DNA test.
Some do.
I have like a large chunk of me is Bedouin, so I actually am
you understand that most Israeli people like Benjamin Netanyahu are ethnically from Poland or Ukraine.
Right.
These people are not Semitic, and so now they're even trying to change. They're trying the same mind control that they tried on the slaves.
I got it.
And to forget where you're really from. The real Semites are the Palestinians. The word anti-Semitic doesn't make sense. The reason they say anti-Semitic and not anti-Jewish is another form of slave. If they said anti-Jewish, then people would look into it. Anti-Semitic is to reinforce that the homeland is Israel.
Listen, the whole concept of who's a Jew and who's not a Jew, and you're only a Jew if your mother is a Jew and not your father. A lot of this stuff is stupid. A lot of this stuff is silly.
Well, that's your religion.
I don't agree with it. And I'm Jewish myself.
Then you don't agree with Judaism.
I don't agree with certain parts of Judaism. But at the end of the day,
I agree with everything in Islam.
Okay. And I respect you for it.
Thank you.
I respect you for it. So he apologized to the Jewish community for injuries his words and symbolism caused. He also had an apology to black people, saying he let them down and he acknowledged their role in his life and his career. He said he hit rock bottom, and the support from his wife, Bianca, helped him seek treatment. He said there's going to be a recovery plan with medication, therapy, exercise, and clean living. He asked for patience, understanding, and forgiveness while he continues his recovery and creative work. He said he wasn't asking for a free pass, but he has hoped to earn forgiveness as he works towards being a better person. And he also stressed that his medical struggles do not excuse his behavior, but help explain why it happened. And shortly afterwards, he did an interview with Vanity Fair, and they said, are you trying to do this in order to clean up your image, in order to sell more albums? And what he said was actually kind of interesting. He said that in 2025, he was one of the most streamed artists in the world.
Graduation, great album. Yes. That was the most streamed hip hop album of 2025, even during the whole cancellation.
It was I remember hearing that. I looked it up. It's like one of the top 3 most streamed. I think it was the actual most streamed, but it was definitely up there. And considering this is a 20-year-old album, extremely impressive.
It depends on the charts you read and like what streaming saw.
It's up there. We could both agree on that. One of the most streamed
20-year-old album.
A 20-year-old
19
album.
this year, but almost 2 decades old.
20-year-old album.
Look at that.
Listen, at the end of the day, there's a huge anticipation for Bully. I think everyone's going to listen to it initially. I've actually heard the album, and there's some very dope songs on that album.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And Kanye could still do a show in, maybe not in all parts of the world, but he could do a show in a lot of parts and make like 3-4 million a show. Mm-hmm. He's not broke.
I spoke to, the Rolling Loud CEO, his name is Tarek.
I know who he is, but
I spoke to him. I saw him in New York randomly, and he said that he thinks Ye should be able to headline Rolling Loud. So I got his number, and I would love to see that. That shows, and he's Jewish. So for him to look past that, because he understands real music, and music sucks now. Hip hop has fallen off. You know this. You're a hip hop journalist. It sucks. And
2025 is one of the worst hip hop years ever, honestly.
One of the worst, and it's going to continue like this. The reason that it's this way is because you have this control on artists, and you're supposed to only say certain things. If we keep forcing people to submit and to then we're not going to get anything real. We're just going to get this. Got to be this gangster false thing. That's why I love 6ix9ine's comeback. He's just kind of owned it, but obviously he's in jail right now. I want to see artists be able to express themselves freely. If you can't freely express yourself, you're not being authentic and you're not really producing art.
Well, what do you think about this whole Kanye apology?
I think it's heartfelt and I think people should accept it. But I also see Piers Morgan's response to it, which is so telling. He says he doesn't accept the apology. He says, this Hitler loving this, even after a heartfelt apology, the guy who met with Ghislaine Maxwell is going to say it's not enough. It's never enough. An apology, a heartfelt, a meeting with the rabbi, it's never enough.
This is my thoughts about it. I am glad that he did an apology. And I do hope it's heartfelt. And from everything I've seen, from everyone that I know, I think that Ye definitely has mental illness on different levels.
Don't we all?
Some a lot more extreme than others. I think that Ye's condition is more extreme than mine. I don't know about what goes through your head, but
everybody has ADHD now from TikTok. Everybody has self-doubt. Everybody is insecure.
Look, for someone to have a world tour, at the very beginning of it, to get on stage and go on a rant and cancel the entire tour right there on stage and actually mean it, which affects hundreds of thousands of people.
You talking about Life of Pablo?
Yeah, remember when he canceled that tour?
I went to that tour. I skipped the first week of senior year of high school to go see that tour.
Right. I don't think that someone who is 100% stable would do something like that. I think this is someone that was going through an episode. And he went and checked himself into a hospital afterwards.
I don't know how true that is. At the time, the swastika was the MAGA hat. And so he said, I support Trump. And a black artist is not supposed to support Trump. Trump was Hitler at the time.
You're right.
They threw him in the hospital. And what did he say? It's like, I don't want to say what race, what ethnicity, it was a Jewish doctor. That's what he said. Obviously, he doesn't support that anymore. But afterwards, when he goes in this whole tirade in 2022, do you remember what Harley Pasternak texted him?
No.
He said, if you keep going down this path, we are going to take your kids from you and we are going to throw you into zombie land and you won't even know how to talk. This is the power that they have. This is a Hollywood trainer, the same Hollywood trainer that was around Ellen Page before Ellen Page became Elliot Page. Elliot Page now is a man, is on hormones, and does not look like the same person. Transgenderism issue aside, look at Elliot Page's face, Ellen Page's face. This is not, it's a completely different person. Look at look at Britney Spears now. Look at all these, so many of these Nickelodeon stars, Disney Channel stars, the way that it's not even, it's almost unhuman-like. So if you see that they threaten to put him in Zombieland, medicate him so hard, almost word for word, I'm going to put you under so much medication, you won't be able to see your kids, you're going to be in Zombieland. That should be a wake-up call about the control. If you get out of line, slave, boy, you get out of line, we're going to take everything from you. We're going to medicate you. we're going to control you. We're going to get you back in line. Make sure you're a good slave.
Look, I don't agree with anyone having their kids taken away from them for any reason. I think some people.
For some reasons. If you're a CPO.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're molesting the kids, you know, yeah, I get it.
Is he guilty of any of that?
No, he's not. I don't think.
In fact, he's been very public about protecting his kids.
Yeah,
they're on TikTok too much.
Yeah, listen. Seeing what Northwest is doing is a little odd to me as a 12-year-old.
I think she's 14.
Is she 14? Okay. So even as a 14-year-old, I think is a little odd. I don't know if 14 is a good age for kids to be on social media at all.
I agree.
Especially in this day and age. I don't think that Ye's kids should be taken away from him for any of the reasons that I've seen. Some people function better on medication. Some people don't. And at the end of the day, it's really that person's decision whether or not they should be medicated. I don't like when they get put on, you know, forced medication and everything else like that.
I support his decision. And
I believe he is medicating right now.
And I believe that people should accept his apology, but me personally, I'm completely anti-medication.
Me too.
God created us. God created us so that we're able to exist without these external lab-created medicine.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was going through some health issues in my mid-20s, and they put me on antidepressants, and I'm like, this is horrible. I was cloudy, and I hated it, and I stopped after about a week. So I get it. I think a lot of people don't like to take that for those reasons. But the thing about Ye, and I think what people are really waiting for, is that this is not the first time that he's apologized to the Jewish community or to the Black community or anything else like that. Remember, there was a whole like Hebrew apology that he did. And then it's like he went back to doing it again. And I think that that's what's really what people are waiting for in terms of this apology. I think that people want to accept this apology. And if the apology is sincere and actually lasts for however long, then I think that that's great. But I think a lot of people are saying, well, he's saying it now, but he's going to go back and do something, you know, that he did before later on. And I hope that doesn't happen at the end of the day. That's my thing.
I hope so too.
Yeah. Well, Sneako, man, I appreciate you doing the interview. You and I have differing viewpoints on a lot of things, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have discussions about it. And I think
agree.
people can watch something like this and say, okay, well, I agree with Sneako on this, but I agree with Vlad on this. Or
you should tell that to Dave Grutman and the mayor.
Yeah.
Let's have more conversation like that. I had a conversation with Aaron Steiny last night. He's Jewish. He did 8 months ago an interview with Netanyahu, and we spoke, and we disagree, but this is what democracy is all about.
It's okay to disagree. We live in a country where you can disagree. You know?
I find it so ironic that when people support Israel, they say, okay, it's the only democracy in the Middle East, and then they apply totalitarian and they bring tyranny in America and censor free speech. Well, if you guys are really supportive of democracy and free speech, then let's have these discussions. Don't try to medicate people. Don't try to like ruin someone's life. Don't ban someone everywhere.
Right.
Why don't we apply that and have conversations the way that America was built on? The founding fathers dumped the tea in the ocean. When they said, we're going to tax you and we're going to control you, they flipped the boats and put them in. They tarred and feathered everybody trying to control them.
Well, yeah.
They resisted the slave mind.
Right. And also, you could say that it's a democracy, but Netanyahu has been president for like 20 years. Just like in Russia, Putin has been president for like 25 years.
They only say it's a democracy because Tel Aviv, they brag about it being the gayest city in the world. They have, this is from the times of Israel. I'm not even insulting. Okay. They have the biggest gay pride parade to say, okay, we don't throw women off roofs and gays off roofs. They say it's democracy because they allowed degeneracy.
Listen, I'm straight.
I think democracy is much more important. Actual democracy is about free speech and dialogue, just like this, Vlad, rather than gay pride parades in Tel Aviv.
Okay, so you're anti-gay?
I'm not anti-gay. I'm saying democracy should not be about pride parades. Democracy is about conversations like this. I agree.
Listen, if you're gay, you're gay. It doesn't really bother me
that's
one way or another.
That's not my point is, that's why they say that we should support Israel. That's why they want the Judeo-Christian alliance.
But you refer to homosexuality as degeneracy.
Are pride parades not degenerate? They're waving dick balloons around, people walk around half naked.
Yeah, I haven't really seen too many pride parades, to be honest. I don't attend them. I don't
what is
watch
it about?
them.
They put on like dog outfits and everything. It's like the definition.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
But
if it's adults, then it's adults. As long as kids aren't there.
Well, what is degenerate if not that?
I don't know. What is degenerate? That's actually a good question. I never really thought about that.
I think it's public displays of what they're doing. I mean, it's the celebration of things that are not commonly accepted in society.
Okay, I can see that as a definition.
And also, they say pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, correct? It's like, why are we even celebrating this?
That's a good point. That's what it is, Sneako. Appreciate the interview. Wish you all the best, man. And at the end of the day,
Appreciate it.
That's right. Shaking on camera. And at the end of the day, bro, keep doing your thing and keep pushing the envelope. And I think what you do is you put stuff out there and it causes discussion one way or another. And there's people that love you, the people that hate you, people that see you for what you truly are. And you've gotten to a place that very few people have gotten. Because as a fellow YouTuber, and I was one of the original YouTubers, I started in 2008, I know how hard it is to get to a certain point. And especially as someone who's gotten his channels taken down, and had to rebuild.
Only YouTuber that's ever happened to of my stature.
Yeah.
Where I was banned completely and YouTube apologized and reinstated. I haven't seen anybody else.
Steve will do it?
They didn't give his channels back.
Oh, he had to start a new channel.
They changed the policy and said that you could reapply.
Ah, okay.
YouTube said we were wrong. I was right.
This was 2025.
Yes.
Right. How many subscribers do you have now?
I have 5 channels. My main channel, 1.3 million. Second channel, 910,000.
Okay.
Third channel, 300,000. You know, there's
Okay.
a couple million.
So yeah, 2-point-something million. That's what it is. So listen.
Got a long way to go.
That is not easy. Yeah, we got the MrBeast, you know, over all of us.
Especially AI banned on TikTok. My face is banned from a lot of places.
Oh, really?
You know, I've been restricted.
Crazy.
3 years banned, still here, still kicking it, still on top.
Still doing your thing, man. That's what it is. Until next time. Peace.
Appreciate it.